What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your channel. Today I have another video for you guys, and last video with the green palm tree leaf dial that has been sold, which is was super exciting for me, and yeah, hopefully I get more customers. I don't know, wishful thinking, wish me luck. But today is going to be another build, and as you can see, I do have a different style of bracelet, or links I should say. This is a presidential style links. You can see like a hidden clasp here. I never had these type of links before, so I'm super excited to kind of put this together. Also, noise cyclops on the glass. This time I went with just plain, plain glass. The dial for this build is going to be a Wimbledon inspired dial, which let me just show you real quick. So here we have the dial, and like I said before, this is a Wimbledon inspired dial, and this dial looks absolutely amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. You got this gray matte, kind of not matte really, it's more like shiny gunmetal gray dial, and you have the black Roman numerals, the indices, and of course the green outline. And this dial is, I mean, this looks absolutely amazing, and this slide doesn't do it justice, but I mean, it looks amazing. And of course, this Seiko logo, which is also a nice little touch. I think it's a little bit different than the one that I have, the original one, but I still like this one better than the last one for sure. I'm super excited to put this in, see how it looks. But man, in person, this dial looks absolutely amazing. Of course, you got your I got my NH35 movements, the usual stuff. Now I do want to mention something about this. Notice how I got it in terms of shipping, right? This is what you look for, right? This is what you want in terms of shipping quality, right? And I'd rather pay extra couple bucks for shipping, knowing that this movement is going to be safe when it ships. And just to give comparison, the last movement I got was in this box, and as you can clearly see, it was with the little plastic bag. But you can see how the I don't know if you can see on the camera, but right there, you see how there's little dots there. That's from the stem from the seconds hand was hitting that top of that lid, plastic lid. So thank God it wasn't damaged, but potentially that could have been really bad. It could have been damaged the movement, and basically I had a non-working movement. So again, you might want to pay attention to those things, and I will make another video in terms of like which shops I trust or I get my parts from AliExpress. I'll do that in a separate video. And this is my second time buying this movement from the shop, and it always came like this, nice, secured, and a bunch of bubble wrap, so there's no accidents or anything like that, so there's no issues. But anyways, let's get started with the build. Okay, so first things first, as always, you want to make sure you check the movements, make sure it's working. I already did that. It's ticking nicely, it's turning over the dates, everything is good. Of course, after that, you want to mock up your dial to the movement. And of course, it's going to be these little holes that you want to line up the movement with, or the dial with. This one right here, and this one right here. So those two holes, that's what you want to line up the stems with. I already cut the stems, so I already know which ones are ready to go. I will have to file down a little bit more on the stem a little bit, so I'm gonna do that right now, and then I'll show you what it's gonna look like afterwards. Okay, so I filed down the the stems. I went a little too crazy with the filer, so just be careful not to damage the dial. All right, guys, so I actually made a huge mistake, and I cut the wrong stems on the dial, which is kind of disappointing. And as you can clearly see, I had to cut all of them because originally the date window was at 3. Actually, it's around. It was actually down. It was actually at 4 o'clock instead of normal 3 o'clock. So kind of unfortunate, but I learned a lesson nonetheless. But I do want to mention there's a solution. Obviously, one, you can buy another dial. I don't want to wait 2 more weeks for the dial to get here, and there's another solution. The solution is a double-sided tape. So as you can clearly see here, maybe not clearly, but there's tape here, tape there, and 2 tapes here, right here. Double-sided tape, make sure it's thin double-sided tape. You can get them, I got this one at Walgreens, so, or CVS. So that's gonna be the solution. Now, if it was for somebody else, this watch is gonna be for me. So if it was for somebody else, then I would definitely gonna have to wait and get another dial because I want it to be done right. But the double-sided tape should work just fine. And not only that, the actual case, where's my case? The case does hold the actual dial in place as well. I just don't want it to slide around. That's the problem. But the case does secure the dial from the top. I just don't want it to slide all around and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, then yes, I'll just go ahead and order another dial. No big deal. But I want to go ahead and move on with this build, and I'm gonna get this dial fitted and move on to the hands. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Double-sided tape works pretty well. Again, I'm gonna make sure everything lines up nice and perfectly, and make sure you want to get a thin double-sided tape, not thick one. Otherwise, it will be some problems. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Again, you just want the dial, keep it from moving all around. The case will hold it down, but I just don't want to move it around. So, anyways, moving on to the build, I'm gonna do the hands and then the crown. Now the hands are pretty standard. It's your silver lumens hands. No, nothing too crazy. I do have another build in mind that I'm gonna probably order the parts sometime this week. It's gonna be basically a Rolex Explorer style watch. But again, nothing crazy with the hands, not just your standard basic hands. Of course, before you want to set the hands, you want to rotate the date. Oh, not the date, I'm sorry. The time, the actual hands inside there. Right after the midnight. So I've done this before. When that date rotates, you know it's going to be midnight. So that's what you want to do. And there we go. So there you go. That's midnight. So that's where you want to put your hour hand first, obviously. Okay, so I got the 1 hour hand on first. You want to be as flat as possible to the like, I guess there's a ledge. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a video on YouTube that does it a lot better than I do in terms of explaining what to look for. But yeah, you kind of be as flat as possible to that first kind of like level, so to speak. And then I'll do and then moving on to the minute. All right, so the second or the minute hand was pretty easy. It might be off by like a tiny smidge, but I think it'll be okay. Now, of course, the second hand, that's gonna be the devil of me. So hopefully, I don't butcher it too much, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I got the second hands on there. It was actually a lot faster than I thought it would be, but yeah, definitely the loom helps a lot. And I don't have the actual thing that goes around your head, so I need to get that still. But yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Once you do these enough, you'll get eventually. But yeah, next thing is gonna be basically putting into the case and sizing up the crown. Okay, so I have the link separated from the case, and I'm going to basically fit this in the case. Of course, you got your little gasket here. If I can just take it out, there we go. And just so you know, like if you have these tools to set the hands real quick, this one I use for the hour and the minute. This one I use for the seconds. The reason you want to use for this for the hour and the minute is because the hole is bigger. You want to make sure that the second hand's pin that goes in here does not get bent. If you use something like this, you see how small and shallow it is? It will bend the second hands and you will not be able to fit it on there. So make sure you use the appropriate holes. Anyway, so I'm gonna fit the movement into the case. So far, again, I'm gonna take it out again. I'm gonna clean it again just to make sure. But for now, I'm just gonna try and test fit the crown, or the stem, I should say, and then we'll go from there. As you already know, the crown comes way too long, so you have to cut this. And again, I don't have this the tool to measure this just yet. I always do this basically eyeballing, but again, don't go too short, don't go too crazy, just kind of eyeball it, then sending down, and then keep doing it until you get it right. Again, you want to make sure that you get this little spring action here, make sure that's still kind of in place, so to speak, which I'll talk about when I get it measured or when I get it cut. Quick little tip, I want to show you guys, see how I cut it, and it's kind of, I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a little uneven spot, so you want to sand that down, because when you screw the crown back on, it'll strip it. There's a chance that you might strip the threads, so just sanding down with either sandpaper or use these little things, whatever. Just make sure it's nice and even when you put the crown back on. Okay, so I sized up the stem, and last thing you want to do before you actually put it in place is put some Loctite. This is your blue Loctite. You only need a little bit, you don't need a lot, and you want to be careful not to spill this stuff anywhere. So I'm gonna move this stuff away from everything. Okay, so you just need a little bit. That's actually too much. So I'm gonna put the crown on, and then I'm gonna clean it up. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the dial. I wanna clean up the dial and the actual case. Okay, so I got the Loctite on there. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute. And then I already cleaned the hands on this, and the dial looks a little dusty. So I'm gonna clean the dial again, use one of the little dusters. And it looks pretty good to me with everything else. There's some smudges on here. Again, what I like to use is the lens cleaner, which is this little thing right here. Super useful. Again, you want to be careful with the dial and just go over the dirty parts. And so there we go, guys. I got the everything's cleaned, looking pretty good. Again, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I got the no Cyclops this time, just to see how it looks, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I gotta put on the whole bracelet to see how it looks, but I mean, so far I like it. I like it a lot. I love the dial. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm telling you, the lighting does not do it justice. It just does not. It looks so much better in person. But don't worry about this blue thing. That's just protective film. And then I'm gonna lube up the gasket, close the back, and we're gonna size up the bracelet and then do a little final reveal. Again, this is just a lubricant. I think it's I'm not sure what kind of silicone. I think silicone. Again, this is from AliExpress. Costs about $1 something. It's really nothing. Do a little shaky shake, and that should be ready to go. Finally, you want to do a little dustiness inside. Make sure there's no dust, hair, debris, all that good stuff. Make sure it's nice and clean. And then finally, we have our clear case back. Again, I love clear case bags just because you get to see the actual movement inside the case. Now I finally got the tool to properly tighten the case back, and this is from, again, Temu Express. I got it for $11. That's what it looks like. This is a set right here, 11 bucks. And yeah, I got with this handle instead of the like traditional, like that one right there. So again, if you're looking for parts, Temu is a pretty good place to find good stuff. Again, $11, I'll take it. With this one, you want to kind of press it and lighten up and press it and just give it a small little twist. And that's it. It should be set. You don't need to go too heavy on it. It should be totally fine. So finally, I'm gonna size up this bracelet real quick and then do a little final reveal and see what I think about this timepiece. And here we go, guys. The final reveal on this watch. Boom. Here we are. It's a nice little 36 millimeter Wimbledon inspired Rolex type of watch, right? You got your Roman numerals with the green outline symbolizing the tennis courts, the green tennis courts in Wimbledon. As you may or may not know, the Rolex is official timekeeper of the Wimbledon, and got clear case back. Now I did make some mistakes again on the dial, but again you can use double-sided tape just to not lightly, but just carefully around the edge of the movements, because the plastic part was basically just holds the inside of the case. So it's not visible. It doesn't hurt anybody. Again, the case itself puts pressure on the case. The case itself puts the pressure on the dial, so that it won't move anywhere. But I just don't want the dial to rotate, right? So that's what I don't want. But overall, I'm super happy with how this turned out. Again, no Cyclops on this, and I think I like it, but I think it would be better with a one-time Cyclops, in my opinion. Again, this watch is going to be just for me, basically, unless somebody likes it and wants to purchase it, then yeah, that's fine. But if that's the case, then I'll probably have to order another dial and do it right, because again, if it's for a customer, I want to make sure it's properly done, right? But this is probably going to be for me. I truly am amazed by this dial. This dial looks phenomenal, and I can't wait to take some pictures outside on the sun. Again, it's my first presidential bracelet style bracelet, and let's do a little wrist test. My wrist size is 6.5 inches, and I did have to take off, I think it was 4 links. Let's see. And here we go. Looks really cool on my wrist. Again, the dial is freaking amazing. I love it. It's kind of a little bit snug, but I think it'll be okay. There's no micro adjustments, just because again, this is a presidential style, so there's you can't do micro adjustment. But yeah, overall, I'm extremely happy with this build. Extremely happy how it turned out, and I can't wait to wear it outside and see how it looks. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you do me a favor, please subscribe and hit the like button, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. But I do have another build coming up. Again, it's going to be a Rolex inspired build. Hence, my favorite watches are Rolexes. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching. And if you stuck around, good for you. And I'll catch you guys next one.